What's up everybody, this is Rabid back with another video. We are going to be summarizing Module 6, Lesson 5, 6, and 7. This is part 2, there's part 1 if you want to check it out. I did Lesson 1, 2, 3, and 4 over there. But without further ado, let's start Lesson 5. They talk about roof systems. Just like the previous lessons, in the summary they don't really talk about that much, so I'm just gonna go through the whole thing. There's only 20 pages. Maybe we'll find some interesting stuff that we can learn. So in residential roof styles and characteristics, primary purpose of a roof is to protect the occupants from the weather. Residential roofs can differ based on design, shape, style, and structure. There's a gable roof. And they can be identified by a simple design of two sloped sides and a gable. Example, enclosing portion at the end of any pitched roof. When viewed, a completed gable roof will have the appearance of an inverted V. Hip roof, sometimes called cottage roofs, and refer to a layout that has slopes on all four sides. These sides are all equal in length and join at the top to form the ridge. Gambrill Roof. They're most commonly recognized with barn structures, although they are also used in residential roofing. They're identified from its symmetrical two sides that slope more steeply, approximately halfway down the length of either side. Mansard Roof. Very similar features as gambrel roof, including an allocation of sufficient space for the inclusion of an attic, which can sometimes refer to as a garret. Then there's a flat roof, mostly used in commercial and industrial buildings. Flat roofs can also be used for residential purposes. Despite their name, flat roofs are not completely flat. They have a slightly slope to prevent collection of water. A-frame roof. A-frame roof can be identified by their steep rectangular shape that runs directly to the ground level, which function as walls for the structure, and were a popular design in the mid 1950s to the 70s. Because of this design, structures with A-frame roofs are typically smaller and are often 1.5-story structures. Let's go back and see what this is. Describing a roof slope. Pitch of a roof is really the slope of a roof. Convention dictates that the slope is defined as a ratio of rise over run. Oh my god, a lot of math. This reminds me of rise over run. Yeah, let's skip this. Alright, how roof style can affect a property appeal. Many different styles of roof can be used for a residential property. Each has benefits and drawbacks. Although the style of a roof is a factor that can influence a buyer, one style of roof is not necessarily considered superior to the other, and the decision to purchase is often based on the buyer's preference. I'm gonna skip this. So residential roof components, there's flashing, refers to thin pieces of impervious material installed in joists or gaps to prevent water from seeping into structure. And there's sheathing, is typically composed of wood plank, plywood, or wafer board panels. It serves to support the roof covering and transmits live roof loads such as snow and ice on towards the rafters. Truss. A roof truss holds up the sheathings and shingles while transferring the roof loads to the outside or the bearing walls of a structure. Trusses contain rectangular shaped webs inside their frame that serves as additional support. Rafter. A rafter is a roof component commonly associated with sloped roofs. The rafter supports the roof sheathing and transmits the roof load to bearings, walls, and beams below. Collar tie. A collar ties are laterally placed wood members installed between opposing rafters approximately halfway up the attic space. These ties are designed to prevent rafters from sagging inwards. So where does it? Okay, I see it. Okay. A knee wall is a small wall typically built with 2x4 wood studs in the attic that prevents rafter sag. Knee wall is 1.5 story or 2-story house sometimes form the walls of a room on the upper floor as they run from the attic floor up to the underside of the rafter near their midpoint. Alright. Potential problems with residential roof and roof components is finished roof. Each roofing component may have specific problems, but 2 common problems generally impact a finished roof overall as opposed to specific building components: ice damping and tree branches touching roof. So these are 2 problems that can occur. Sheathing, moisture in so problems with sheathing, condensation. Moisture in the attic can cause considerable problems, or if it's too thin, or if the edge support is unsupported, and this could lead to horizontal ridges appearing in the roof. So these are some of the problems with sheathing. Problems with truss, that it could cut. There could be a truss if uplift, and what else? That's all there is. Truss uplift. And then the problems with rafter that can occur. The rafter spread occurs when rafters push apart as a result of not being adequately secured to the walls at the bottom edge, so they can overspan or they can spread. Condensation, attic with good insulation but poor ventilation may be susceptible to condensation problems. Collar ties. The problem with collar ties is the buckling or missing or bracing. Buckling can be caused by using inappropriate lumber size, and securing collar ties on every third rafter was common on older houses. However, such arrangements have proven inadequate, particularly with added weight of multiple layers of roof shingles. Wrong location. Often collar ties are either too high or too low. Low slope roof. Collar ties are only effective when the roof slope is 4 and 12 inches or greater. Makes sense. Problems with knee wall. As with any wood component, knee walls are subject to rot, termite, mechanical damage, or fire damage. Problems with flashing. When flashing is installed, they are cut and shaped from sheet metals, but preformed flashing can be applied without much difficulty using caulking or roof cement. A common problem with flashing is when it becomes loose and separates from the surface it's intended to seal. Okay. We're gonna skip all these questions. Additional residential roof components are soffits. What are soffits? Soffit is a soffits is a material that covers the underside of the overhang of a roof. Soffits provide both aesthetic and functional purposes for a residential structure. Without soffits, the end of the rafters and trusses would be visible. What's a fascia? Fascia is a wooden board. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. A fascia. Fascia is a wooden board or otherwise flat piece of material that covers the ends of the rafters and is visible from the exterior of a property. Eaves trough are attached to the fascia, which prevents moisture and water leakage into the roof and the attic. We already know what this does. Eaves troughs is attached to both the fascia board and downspout. They collect rainwater that flows through the downspout to grade level, protecting against wall damage and localized ground level erosion caused by roof runoffs. Attic venting system. Proper attic ventilation is a crucial factor for residential structures. Attics can be a common area for the formation of mold and wood rot. Sufficient air circulation through the attic venting system is required to eliminate moisture from collecting in the attic. Makes sense. Let's go back. So potential problems with additional roof components. With soffits, they can start sagging or become loose, which could be caused from wear and tear associated with weather. Fascia is vulnerable to water damage, which can be caused by clogged eaves troughs, improper shingles, overhanging, and ice damping. Eaves troughs include the collection of debris, which require cleaning typically once a year. Faulty fasteners can cause the eaves trough to fall or collapse. There can also be holes and cracks caused by rust. That's it. Problems with attic venting system include improper fan venting, a running bathroom fan venting directly to the attic, excessive insulation that results in blocking the intake vents, or unbalanced ratio of intake and exhaust vents. Let's skip. Yeah, so that's basically lesson 5. Residential roof materials and characteristics. There's asphalt shingles, most common form of roofing material, in part because they are relatively inexpensive and straightforward to install. Comes in different colors and classified by the weight. Most type of shingle is about 210 pounds per square inch. They last about 12 to 15 years. Okay, let's go on to metal. Metal roofs are effective, withstand most weather condition, resistant to high winds. They reflect solar rays, enhance energy saving costs. Advantage is low maintenance, resistant to decay, durability, as metal roofs can last approximately 40 to 70 years. But they cost a lot. They can be expensive. Problems can be bowing, sagging, or bucking roof edges are the indication that the roof material may be nearing its end. Okay. Wood shingles and shakes have similar configuration to conventional asphalt shingles, but are made of wood. They're machine cut, and they're either hand split or mechanically split. They usually they last for about 30 to 40 years. The downside about shingles and shakes is the exposure to frequent sunlight that can dehydrate the shingles. They can become brittle, and excessive shade or moisture can lead to rot. Yeah. And then there's slate. Slate is made of stone cut into shingles or plates that are premium roofing materials. So they are durable, waterproof, and fireproof. However, they can be brittle and easily damaged by hail, debris, or foot traffic on the roof. The average utility period is about 60 to 100 years, which is, I think, amazing, because 100 years, I don't even know if I can live that long, but at least my roof will be in one piece. What the downside is the weight. They weigh about 3 to 5 times more than asphalt shingles. And they're very expensive. They're very expensive to install. Concrete and clay tile. Rarely seen in Ontario, concrete and clay tiles are relatively high quality roofing system. that can have a utility period of 50 to 100 years. As with slate shingles, these roofs are heavy and can weigh up to 4 to 5 times as much as asphalt shingles. They also become brittle, subject to mechanical damage, and prone to failure of fastenings such as nailings. Excessive number of broken tiles on the roof may be a sign that the roof material is nearing its utility period. And then there's corrugated plastic tile. Corrugated plastic tile is a single ply surface generally used over patios and light structures. The roofing is considered low quality and is subject to fading, discoloration, and leaking at the joints. Yeah. Let's skip the next part. So yeah, that was lesson 5. Let's move on to lesson 6. Lesson 6, they talk about doors. Super small lesson, so let's go over it quickly. Residential door components. There is a head. The head is a portion of the door frame located at the top of the door and runs horizontally across from one side to the other, sometimes referred to as a top rail. In the case of sliding doors, the head would be where the top portion of the track is installed to allow movement. A jamb. Jamb of a door pertains to both the left or the right portion of the door frame running vertically up and down the length of the door. Depending on the direction the door swings, either jamb can be located where the hinges are mounted. A sill. A sill is located at the bottom of the door at the floor level and runs horizontally to the surface to support the frame of the door. The sill is sometimes referred to as the threshold. Sills are raised slightly to prevent water from entering the house and are often fitted with a piece of weather stripping to insulate the area under the door. A stop is a continuous projection attached to the head and jamb of the door, which functions to prevent the door from swinging past the frame when closing or opening. A buck of a door is a subframe around the door. Bucks are sometimes referred to as a casing, typically designed from either wood or pressed metal. Residential exterior door types. There's wood doors, commonly used because of their beautiful high-end look. And then there's panel doors, commonly used as interior doors because they can also be used as exterior doors, made of wood. And yeah, and then there's glass doors, most commonly used for door panes. Doors can be used composed of a large shingle, composed of a large single pane of glass situated inside a typically wooden frame. Glass patio doors are fairly common as an alternative to sliding backyard doors. Sliding doors are most common at the entrance to the backyard, often situated around metal or wood frames with thermal breaks that allow the frame to remain warmer. And then there's steel doors. Great option for exterior door, relatively inexpensive, come in a variety of colors and security, and offer the security and weather resistance of a fiberglass and wood door. Fiberglass entry doors are practical choice for most people. They resist wear and tear, can be painted or stained, moderately priced and dent resistant, and require very little maintenance. And then we can skip this. High efficiency for exterior doors. A properly insulated door serves to keep the outdoor weather from your home and prevents the unwanted exchange of heat. It can also prevent air and temperature leakage, meaning the amount of energy used to heat or cool the home internally is not being lost. An energy efficient door can function as a seal between the temperature both inside and outside the house. Some types of doors may provide better efficiency than others. Homeowner could increase the energy efficiency of a door without replacing it with another type. How to make your doors more efficient? Replace the old doors. Use energy efficient doors. Install storm doors, or install weather stripping. Okay, so that was lesson 6, and we're moving on to lesson 7. They talk about windows. Let's talk about windows. So, window styles and consideration, different variations of windows, different styles and features. So let's read them. Window styles and characteristics. There is a casement window. A casement window is hinged and often operates through the turning of a crank handle that allows the window to open and close. Window can be hinged on either the left or the right side, or open outward. Material used for a casement window include wood, metal, vinyl, or a combination. Single or double hung windows. Double hung windows is composed of two sashes that slide vertically within the frame. Once a double hung window is opened, it can lock in place to remain open. A single hung window functions in the same way, but only bottom portion of the window can open and close, while the rest remains stationary. Awning window. An awning window has a hinge at the top that allows the window to open outward. Hinge can be installed above or below the window. Windows can be beneficial when they are placed near windows that don't open as part of their design. Okay. And then there's bay windows or bow windows. Bay window is typically designed as 3 separate windows. Center window is often a picture window with 2 smaller windows on either side of it. The 2 windows on either side are often angled. A bow window structure is curved, creating a rounded appearance on the outside of the house. It usually has 4 or 5 separate windows. A slider window is an older style window, generally regarded as lower in quality. Is a single pane of glass that slides on a wood or vinyl track. It often has a simple locking device and pull knobs, sometimes attached to the surface of the glass. A slider window will open horizontally rather than vertically, and it is relatively inexpensive. A skylight. A skylight can be installed on both new construction and resale homes. They are typically made from tempered glass or plastic, which have better resistance to breakage than conventional glass. They are subject to scratching or so abrasive cleaner should not be used. Okay. And then we go on to talk about the potential problems with residential windows. So the potential problem is drafty windows. A large amount of air escaping through a window can lead to a significant increases to a house's heating and cooling costs. Reasons for this problem include broken window seals, poorly installed windows, improperly installed windows, or cracked and rotting window frames. And then there's condensation. A window that clouds or becomes foggy is an indicator of condensation buildup. The seal between the glass panes of windows was not able to prevent the moisture penetration. This can be a problem in winter because moisture could freeze in between the windows, which could damage the windows and raise heating costs. Damaged materials. Extreme temperature fluctuations can cause windows not installed properly to warp, crack, or rot in their window frame. If the window has wooden components, this can cause moisture penetration that could lead to the frame rotting or formation of mold. Inoperable windows. Windows sticking or difficult to open can be caused from frames that have warped. The settling of a property over the course of time, the frame has been unintentionally painted shut. Alright, let's go. Energy efficient. We don't need this. So some of the modifications that you can do to your windows. You can glaze. Glazing refers to the act of furnishing and or fitting panes or sheets of glass, as in the case of windows and doors. Windows were previously only available as single glazed And the windows can now be purchased as single, double, or triple glazed. Each additional layer of glazing provides more efficiency and noise reduction. And then inert gas fill. Inert gas fill such as argon or krypton. Krypton, isn't that like... Sorry, never mind. Krypton are used as fill between glazing, given their ability to reduce window heat transfer and cold spots at the window base between the panes. Both inert gas are non-toxic and colorless. Argon is most common because krypton is most expensive. Tempering. Tempering glass is specialized glass that is significantly stronger than conventional glass used in residential windows. Glass is processed through controlled thermal or chemical treatments to increase strength. And then they talk about window films and tinting. Window films and window tinting have several benefits, including privacy, UV ray protection, heat reduction, fade, and glare protection. Okay. And then there's low conductivity window spacers. A spacer of a window segment, the spacer of a window segments the two glass panes in a thermal window that is accompanied by a sealant. Traditionally, most glazed units were produced with an aluminum spacer. Although lightweight, durable, and relatively inexpensive, this metal is very effective at conducting heat and is a significant source of heat loss. Low conductivity spacers are made from insulating materials such as foam. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let's move on. The Csa Group is a standards organization that promotes efficient and effective standardization across Canada. In terms of residential windows, the Csa Group focuses primarily on several different categories, including air tightness, water tightness, wind resistance, condensation, forced entry, ease of operation, and visible transmittance. I think this is very important, so I'm just going to read it. Windows are rated according to Csa standards and the efficiency rating. The year represents the heating required for a window during the heating season based on combined analysis of solar heat gain, heat loss, framers, spacers, and glass, and air leakage. The efficiency rating measures thermal performance, in which a positive number indicates that the window generates more solar heat gains than heat loss. A negative number indicates that more heat is lost than gained. Value ranges from a low of minus 80, very poor, to a plus 12, which is excellent. To place the ratings in perspective, a rating of minus 8 to plus 12 would roughly correspond to a R value. Example, the capacity of an insulated material to resist heat flow. Minus the greater the R value, the less heat escapes. Of 5 and a window between negative 15 and plus 5 would represent an R value of 4. Okay, I did not understand that a bit, so I'm just going to read it over after. But yeah, I think this might be important to know, I guess. So I'll come back and read it again for myself. Yeah, so a bunch of questions, and that was lesson 7. Lesson 8 is basically summary practice activities and module summary. The reason why I didn't do the module summary is because they don't really talk in details what you need to know. So that's why I went over each lesson, and hopefully you liked it. This was module 6, lesson 5, 6, and 7. Part 2, I did the part 1, lesson 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you liked both videos. So until next time, I'll do module 7 soon.